If I could just touch the hem, the seam, a thread of his garment. See, from birth I was taught my gift was a curse. If it wasn't for Eve, I wouldn't have that pain when I birthed my seed. And being a woman in between that time, days to a week, I am still reminded by that bleed. But I continue to believe. Touching that garment rid my womanly feminine nature of that one ungodly deed. He forgave me. So we dare not flee. Us no longer unjust. Cleansed, shed of that skin of deletion of the snake that sought out, spoke up, then hid within. They kept us down for so long. So now as long as I reach out, give to, touch, create the birth of, impact someone, I will be made whole. If I could just touch the hem, the seam, a thread of his garment. I should be ashamed for what I did, but to feed my kid I turned tricks for a trade, put no price on the money I made. He stayed fed, roof over his head, peaceful bed. But the longer I stayed, my mind was erased from the reason. All thought began to fade, I no longer obeyed. Momentary satisfaction, seeking love, obtaining physical attraction. Lust in their eyes, perpetuating the sexual hunger's reaction. Through me, Hollywood fantasies could be fulfilled. Not a porn star, but the many positions could be put together to make a film. As my desires of parental fame turned to shame, Mother of the Year was growing dim. I was giving more of me to them than him. Sinking, unable to swim. But I knew. So I reached out, a body aching, mental shout. And with all the belief I had in me, seeking a reincarnation of the mother I was meant to be. Reminded of my son, my true gem. I reached out and touched him. Sins no longer seemed, blessed by the symbolic message in that hymn. Faith rose, and I was made whole. If I could just touch the hem, the seam, a thread of his garment. Society has always been on my side. I cruise the easy streets, the courthouse gets me high. He wanted to be a father but said no longer my man. So with the help of the judicial system, I set in motion my womanly plan. No matter how much support he agreed to pay, I would seek more for the pain of my heart he had to pay. I didn't care about the things I put him through. With the birth of my child, legally only I could speak the truth. No judge would see things his way. I could bring up the past he left behind, make sure his future would be defaced. Heart so bitter and cold, didn't realize the hurt was deep within my soul. Not thinking about the feelings of my child, that I was no longer rational but scornful, and my strikes were wild. That I was affecting his future and the father of man he may become. And all I wanted to do was make his father suffer again and again. I had grown emotionally numb. But as my son grew, the impact of my actions showed through. He began to curse my name with the foul words he spewed. And that's when I knew. What was meant to aid me became my crutch. I leaned all over and up against society, the courthouse system and such. But there was no time like the present to make amends. I petitioned to the courts, needed to cure my hatred, starting from within. There was no way to make up for those earlier years. But from fear, I began to listen and not just hear. Many men could care less to give what they had, and I one of the few who had one that wanted to be a dad. Inside my mind's eye, the healing process began. I saw that garment, and with all of my length, I reached out my hand, holding my breath and stretching each toe. If I could just touch the hem, the seam, a thread, I knew, a sinner's clue, I would be made whole. If I could just touch the hem, the seam, a thread of his garment.